It's another edition of the Tax Talk, and I bid you welcome. My name is Oyinlola Sale, and I'll be running point until the end of the show. The Tax Talk is dedicated to educating the residents of Lagos State on matters that deal with tax and tax administration within the state. We have a specific area we'll be touching on today, but first, let's take the business news. Stay with us.
This is business news. The Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, has taken campaign about the necessity of taxation for nation building to secondary schools, where it tried to imbibe in students that they can become tax professionals. This intention was boosted in Benin City, Edo State capital, where the president and chairman of Council of CITN, Barrister Samuel Agbeluyi, asserted that taxation is the life wire of any nation and that there is no climate that can experience any meaningful development without an effective, efficient, and consistent inflow of tax revenue. He stated this during the All Secondary Schools Tax in Benin, Edo State, with the theme Catch Them Young Tax Quiz Competition, organized by secondary schools in Edo State, where he says CITN is committed to investing in the future of tax professionalism in Nigeria. In her welcome address, Chairman, Student Affairs and Tertiary Institution Relations Committee, Dr. Abiola Ademola, stressed the need for enlightening of students' understanding of the role of tax in the development of an economy. Ademola, who was represented by her vice, Imagwe Victor, noted that the institute is playing a key role towards improving tax policies and guidelines that will be mutually beneficial to both the government and taxpayers in the country. He said the initiative is to create an interactive atmosphere for students to share ideas and contribute positively to the economic development of the country. African countries have generated $1.9 billion in tackling tax evasion and illicit financial flows within the continent. According to the 2023 Tax Transparency in Africa Progress Report unveiled at the 13th meeting of the Africa Initiative in Cape Town, African countries realized the additional revenues following voluntary disclosures, the implementation of information exchange mechanism, and rigorous offshore investigations. From 2009 through 2022, these measures have effectively boosted tax revenue, interest, and penalties, underscoring the substantial progress in tax transparency across the continent. The report, co-produced by the Global Forum on Transparency and Exchange of Information for Tax Purposes, the African Union Commission and the African Tax Administration Forum, present the progress of 38 African countries in tackling tax evasion and other illicit financial flows through transparency and exchange of information. 5 non-member countries participated in the study. The release of the report comes as African governments continue to step up efforts to boost domestic resource mobilization in the face of economic headwinds that include global inflation and mounting debt levels. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development estimates that Africa loses as much as $60 billion each year in illicit financial flows. And that's it on Business News.
I will make a start shortlist business. They give them 150K to my friends. Let's do this. Taxes? I didn't even think about this. So I'll have to pay tax to build a house in Lagos. Maybe I should take a remote job. That way, I can avoid taxes. But wait though, bloggers and content creators pay taxes too. So tax officials in Lagos monitor digital space for tax payment. Wait, why don't I start importing and exporting of phones and gadgets? Bro, how far now?
Femo, how far?
Bro, I won't join the business where they do.
Oh, smart. You just need money. I hope you have your tax clearance certificate.
Tax? Are you kidding me?
Without it, shishi, you not fit do. You have to visit the nearest tax office.
I can't believe it. There's no way out of this. I have to face my tax obligations if I want to start a life in Lagos.
Dear Lagosians, your taxes enable the government to invest in education, healthcare, security, housing, and many more. By continuing to pay your taxes, you are investing in a brighter future for all. This message is brought to you by the Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS.
We're back from business news, and the next segment is corporate talk. Today, we'll be trashing out roles of professional tax bodies in tax administration in Lagos State. What are the professional tax bodies contributing to the tax landscape of the state? Do they have functions they execute either to taxpayers or collecting agencies? Here with us today is an internal auditor at the Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, Zaynab Abdulkareem, to tackle all those questions. You're welcome to the Tax Talk.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's certainly my pleasure. What are the primary roles of professional tax bodies in tax administration in Lagos State?
According to the Charter of CITN, there are four primary roles. The first, which is the most important, is establishing the knowledge and standards and skill sets that persons that want to practice taxation as a profession should have. So that is the basic role of CITN. Also, they are charged with the responsibility of maintaining these standards. It's not enough to just have standards. It's not enough to set criteria. You need to ensure that these criteria are maintained, and from time to time, you upgrade these standards. Also, another crucial role of CITN is fostering professional ethics.
I see.
Yes, so fostering professional ethics is a core role of CITN. And of course, we're also charged with the responsibilities of encouraging researches and even conducting researches into ways and means of advancing tax profession in Nigeria.
And how do professional tax bodies collaborate with government agencies in Lagos State to enhance tax compliance and administration? Okay,
to enhance tax compliance culture in Lagos State, and not just in Lagos State, in Nigeria as a whole, I believe that all stakeholders must work hand in hand. CITN, for instance, have a very sensitive role to play in encouraging tax compliance culture. On one hand, we are responsible to the tax authorities in terms of advisories, policy formations, where adjustments are necessary. We're there to assist, advisory role. And on the other hand, we're there to guide the taxpayers, bearing in mind that we are taxpayers ourselves. So,
exactly.
So our role is a bit sensitive, and that is how we help. We find a way to juxtapose this role. You can view us as a connecting bridge. On one hand, we are responsible to government. On the other hand, we are responsible to the taxpayers.
Well, you're doing well at that.
Thank you very much.
Can you explain the specific contributions of professional tax bodies to taxpayer education and awareness campaign in Lagos State?
Okay, as regards education of taxpayers, CITN is doing quite a lot. To achieve that, we have quite a number of initiatives. Generally, we have symposiums, we have conferences, the workshops, talk shops, the webinars, and the likes of it. But to be more specific, there is the monthly initiative called CITN Taxation and Due. It is a monthly program where CITN is providing the platform for members of the public to come and understand the new innovations or new things or policies within the taxation landscape. It also affords them the opportunity to, come and clear questions that are unclear to them. That is one way. Another way is the Catch Them Young initiative of the Institute.
Very important.
Yes. This is aimed at bringing the tax, raising the tax consciousness of youths, secondary schools, and the tertiary institutions. Periodically, we organize tax quizzes and debates for these kids, and you need to be there. It's usually very enlightening.
I'll look forward to that.
You're welcome. Also, in addition to the quizzes and debates, CITN has established in so many institutions across Nigeria, not just in Lagos, tax clubs. And also, there is the periodic visits to NYSC camp, periodically to, take the talk to them. So as they're moving out of school into the labor market, we're increasing their consciousness when it comes to taxation. So these are some of the ways we're contributing to tax education. Let me also mention the Research and Technical Department of the Institute. Aside several publications which has come out of that department, there is also the daily tax and finance news updates, which is distributed within members and members of the public every day. Also, and lastly, because I'm a player at the district level, I must mention that the districts, because of their formation, the way they are formed, their programs are tailored most of the time towards the needs of taxpayers within their catchment area. So the districts are also doing a lot when it comes to tax education.
There's been no shortage of insights from you on the roles of tax body in tax administration in Lagos State. And I know there's still more from you today to share. But right now, we need to go on a quick break. The Tax Talk goes on a break right now. When we return, we resume the discussion on roles of professional tax body in tax administration in Lagos State with Zaynab Abdulkareem.
Have you had a hard time with taxes and understanding tax administration in Lagos State and the complex nature of Nigerian tax law? Do you know what agency or tier of government collects the various types of taxes? Have you ever found yourself asking any of these questions? Join us for your favorite program, The Tax Talk, your infotainment program.
You're still watching The Tax Talk, and we're examining the roles of professional tax body in tax administration in Lagos State. Mrs. Zaynab Abdulkareem, Internal Auditor at APBN, is our guest for today. Thanks for your patience, ma.
Thank you for having me.
What training and professional development opportunities does the professional tax body offer to tax professionals in Lagos State?
Oh, wow. CITN offers a wide range of training development opportunities for its members. We have the workshops, there are the seminars, we have the conferences, but bringing it more, closer, bringing it home. There is the MPTP, that is the Mandatory Professional Training Programs. As the name implies, it is mandatory for members to key into these programs every now and then. It is held across all states of the Federation. So it offers opportunity for members to become more abreast of new developments in the industry. Also, aside the MPTP, there is the EMPTP. That is the executive version for the business managers and the bosses. This program is tailored towards the needs of the higher executives and their needs to, make decisions as regards taxation and a whole other matters. Then also we have the international academic conferences, where we take the discussion even outside Nigeria, cross-border, West Africa, where papers are presented and solutions are preferred to some very crucial tax issues. Aside those, there is also the annual tax conference. That's another avenue for practitioners to really learn about what obtains in the tax profession. Lastly is the Tax Academy. The Tax Academy offers variety and robust courses all year round. You can key into some of the courses. As the chairman, I will not be doing justice to some of the district activities if I don't mention the monthly meetings of all districts. Now, I'm not particular about Lagos. In all districts' monthly meetings, there is always a technical section where papers are presented and discussed around topical issues around the tax landscape in Nigeria.
And how does the professional tax body assist taxpayers in resolving tax disputes or issues with tax authorities in Lagos State?
Well, the institute does that through its certified members. And how do they go about that? It's through engagement with the tax authorities. We give guidance to the taxpayers. Where necessary, we help interpret the laws. Maybe where there is disputes, we help interpret those laws to them. And when necessary, of course, we encourage and assist them to take their cases to higher level if it can't be resolved locally. So we do a lot of engagement. We do a lot of mediation. We do a lot of negotiation with the tax authorities. I'm sure we are very popular with LIRS.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so we do that through our certified members.
And what measures are in place to ensure accountability and transparency in the activities of the professional tax body operating in Lagos State?
Okay, the matters of ethics is very important to us. So the CITN adheres strictly to corporate and governance standards. Also, we don't joke with regulatory and reporting standards. Those are two important means of ensuring accountability. Also, periodically, we engage in internal reviews, internal audits and reviews to observe and assess our processes and find ways to, correct where there are needs to do that. In addition to that, we ensure regular internal audits. At district levels, there's the CITN Charter and the Joint District Society Bylaw to guide the conduct of the district societies for ensuring transparency, professionalism, accountability, and stewardship. Also, there is always the AGM, where the national gives a report of stewardship over the course of the year.
Mrs. Abdulkareem, I want to say a big thank you to you for taking our time to answer all our questions today on the Tax Talk.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You were an absolute gem.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We've had quite an interesting chat with Mrs. Zaynab Abdulkareem, Internal Auditor of Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria, and I hope you had quite a bit to take away. We continue on Lineup on the Tax Talk once we get back.
Hello, sir. Good evening. How may I assist you?
I made a reservation for a room. My name is Ahmad.
Excellent, Mr. Amodu. A moment, please. You made a reservation for our deluxe suite for 2 nights. That will be 150,000 naira, sir. How would you like to make payment? Cash or card?
Card.
Okay. Thank you. Savings or current, sir?
Current.
Your PIN, please.
Thank you. You don't charge 5% consumption tax here.
No, sir. We don't do that.
Really? You're running a hospitality business and you're not charging 5% consumption tax?
No.
Hold on a minute. Hey, bro.
Alpha.
Yeah, I'm at an apartment in Ogba, and the receipt issued to me did not reflect the payment or deduction of consumption tax.
Oh, really? Thanks for the heads up. I will send a team to investigate.
I mean, they should be penalized.
Attention, all service apartment owners and operators in the hospitality business in Lagos State must charge and remit consumption tax to LIRS. Failure to comply is a contravention of the extant provisions in Section 9 of the HORC Law 2009, which attracts penalties as stipulated in Section 10 and 11 of the same law. Stay on the right side of the law.
The Tax Talk is still what you're tuned to, and this show airs on a weekly basis. This edition is a corporate talk edition where we had a guest in the studio. There's an alternate version of the show where we highlight issues documentary style, known as The Big Story. For now, it's time to check out Tax Did It.
We're happy that we're here. We're happy that we can continue to see that when we put ourselves together and we say we want purposeful and meaningful development, it can happen. You have listened to clear testimonials from the residents and from the citizens that are in this neighborhood that what we have done is a short but very important and strategic road. And you've heard people say that this has not happened in the last 30, 40 years. People that have been living in this community have never had it this well. For them, within a short while, to be able to connect, from the axial going towards Third Mainland Bridge and the road from Ojota, to all the way to Ogudu Bridge, that this simple thing is a testimonial to their belief in our government. And for us, it's part of our master plan to continue to develop all the nooks and crannies of our states as enshrined under our team's agenda, where we said that we will make Lagos a real 21st century economy. Our promise to you is that we will not relent. This will continue to push and ensure that all of the promises that we've given to you of a greater Lagos, that it's on course and we will not stop at anything until when we reassure yourselves and we reassure ourselves too that we're able to achieve all of the things.
Lagos is without a doubt an interesting place with a potpourri of people taking root as residents. Let's take a trip to the streets of Lagos armed with a question for Tax Your Brain.
Welcome to Tax Your Brain on the Tax Talk. My name is Helen Kalu. Today we have riddles for you, not questions. So stay tuned.
Withholding tax.
Withholding tax.
Withholding tax.
That was it on Tax Your Brain on the Tax Talk. See you next time.
It's been a solid time educating you on the tax landscape of Lagos State. It's an ongoing class, so I hope you'll be back with us next week on this same station for more. I am Oinlala Sally. Have a great day.